Thanks again for tuning back in. Now, this video is a follow-up to the previous video that I produced on customizing your CV, and in that case, the example that I provided was that of a program manager's job. Now, I have a client at the moment who is interested in applying for not just program manager's job, but also head of a project management office. And the reason that they're able to do that is that they've got experience in both program manager jobs and as head of a PMO. And so what I've done again is exactly the same as I did before, which was to go to ChatGPT, ask it, what are the skills, experience, qualifications, attributes required in a head of PMO job? It then gives me a summary of what a PMO, head of a PMO does. And then it tells me what skills are, what experience is required, what qualifications are required, and what are the personal attributes that are going to be useful. Now, as the person is going to be applying for both program management and head of PMO jobs, there are likely to be some overlaps between the requirements of a program manager and a head of PMO. So what you do is exactly the same thing as I recommended that you do for a program manager, and copy and paste all of this information that's provided by ChatGPT and into your resume document. Segment or segregate the information under different headings, one for program manager, one for head of PMO, and then go through, or in fact, you can line the information up side by side to see where the overlap is. So, for example, if leadership and team management expertise applies, or experience applies to both a head of PMO and a program manager, then you don't need to duplicate, and you simply use the information that you've already incorporated into your resume. If risk management applies to both a PMO job and to a head of program management office job, then you don't need to duplicate, because a lot of the skills, experience, expertise will be similar or the same as for both jobs. So project management experience would be the same for a program manager and a head of project management office. What might be unique is PMO experience, prior experience in managing a PMO, implementing PMO processes and practices. That will be unique to a head of PMO job, but not required as a program manager. Therefore, this particular experience would be unique to the head of PMO job, and so on. And so what you do is you eliminate the overlap, the duplication, retain the things that are unique to the head of PMO job, and you do exactly the same thing that I have done in or recommended that you do in the other job of a program manager. So then what you do is you go to LinkedIn and find jobs that are, so I'll just type it in. I'll just do this live. LinkedIn job, there we go. Okay, so it tells me that according to LinkedIn, there are 259 head of PMO jobs in Australia at the moment that are apparently vacant. So I'll find the ones that are relevant to that. Okay, PMO head of, here we go, head of project management office with this organisation, Queensland Hydro, and it tells me a bit about what the job is and what the role is and what responsibilities are. The important part is to be considered for the head of the PMO position. You will ideally need to, etc., etc. So what you'll then do is compare this information with what you've gleaned from your interrogation of ChatGPT and make sure that any significant differences are added into your resume document, and you don't need to worry about any overlap. So both ChatGPT has told you that you need loads of experience in a PMO, focusing on infrastructure projects, etc., 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 etc. There are some unique requirements for this particular job. So if you're interested in this particular job, you need experience within the infrastructure sector. So that's something that's unique to this job. So when you apply for the job, and assuming that you do have management experience within the infrastructure sector, ideally in the hydropower industry, then you must incorporate that into your resume. So that would be a significant difference that you have to add in. But many of the other skills and experience and attributes, such as leading teams, program management, project management, financial management, and so on and so forth, are not unique to this job. They're also applicable to other head of PMO jobs. So that's what you do. Then your resume document becomes an even more massively oversized resume, but that's not a problem because you're applying for two different types of jobs. Now, most people realistically can apply for two or three, usually only two types of jobs. They just wouldn't have the experience, expertise, and skills needed for too many more. And so that's pretty much as you'll need to do. It might take you another sort of 35, 45, 65 minutes. It doesn't matter. The effort is definitely worth it, according to the people that I've spoken to, the clients that I've worked with. They find this to be an invaluable approach, and it's made their life a lot easier when they are applying for two different types of jobs for which they have the necessary experience, skills, expertise, qualifications, and so on. Now, there's no point in applying for a job where you don't tick pretty much all of the boxes. Now, this is something that a lot of people come to me saying, oh, look, there are 6 or 7 things that they're looking for and I've got 4 or 5 of them. Well, if you're applying in the open market for jobs through LinkedIn or Seek or Indeed or somewhere else, or applying directly to a company, if you don't tick all of the boxes to a high degree, then don't be disappointed if you are not going to get to the interview stage, because there will be plenty of other candidates who appear, at least on paper, to tick all of the boxes. If you don't tick all of the boxes, the most effective pathway to getting in front of decision makers is through your network. Networking is by far and away the best and most lucrative approach to getting in front of decision makers, because you are being recommended by respected and trusted people. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you had a great experience and it was fantastic, and you recommend that restaurant to your friends and acquaintances and relatives and so on, provided you have the same or similar tastes, similar budgets, and they have similar tastes in food and so forth, then they will accept your recommendation and might possibly go to the restaurant themselves. Very similar to networking. You, for example, if I'm in your network, you know me, and I know, Professor Johnson. Professor Johnson happens to be looking for someone with the kinds of skills, abilities, and experience that you have. I'll have a chat with Professor Johnson to say, I know someone who's pretty good, very good, in fact, and could be a great candidate for that job that you've got vacant. And Professor Johnson, who likes me and trusts me and respects me, for whatever reason, will say, well, why don't you share that person's information with me, and perhaps we can have a conversation. That's the way networking is going to help you. So don't just apply for jobs on LinkedIn or Seek or other places. Use your network to the extent that you possibly can. Okay, well, that's it for now. If you do have any further questions or issues, or you want to discuss, clarify, have a conversation about anything that I've covered in this or any of the other videos that I have put on this channel, then please get in touch via LinkedIn or go to my website, advance-yourself.com.au, and ask for a consultation. It's free.